Netflix says 50% of all their worldwide users now watch anime. 150 million households. Anime viewership has tripled in 5 years since 2020, and 80 to 90% watch dubbed anime, aka in English dubbed. And at the exact same time that this announcement was made, we had this announcement. Soul Leveling, the global phenomenon, is coming to Netflix as a live-action series. This is the actor that is going to be playing Jinwoo in the upcoming live action of Soul Leveling, and I'm just... it's that's my reaction. Like, just oh boy, guys, there's just so much to unpackage about this announcement and then the live action announcement. There's just, before I get into that, I gotta remind everybody, 2 months ago, back in May, it was announced that most people that use Crunchyroll watch anime dubbed than subbed. It was statistically given out by Crunchyroll themselves, and they told us that most people that use their site just watch dub. They do not watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. And obviously there was a lot of people that talked about this, and it came as quite the shock, because it's like, wait, what? Really? There's that many people that prefer to watch anime and dub instead of like the traditional Japanese audio with English subtitles. But then now we got 2 months later that Netflix is the exact same way, and we get a statistic of the numbers to a degree. It's yeah, if you've ever wanted definitive proof that you are the minority in the anime community, this is it. Like, if you are a English sub, okay, watcher, an enjoyer, you're a minority now. You are legitimately someone that is in the small fraction of the community, while the vast majority will watch the dub version. Now, I'm going to say this before we go any further, okay, in this video. No hate on English dub. I do enjoy English dub from time to time. I mean, I prefer personally Dragon Ball in English dub. I prefer Yu Yu Hakusho in English dub. And Yuyasha. I prefer Panty Stocking in English dub. You get the point. There is anime that I legit do like in English, okay? Besides the Japanese audio. However, the point of the matter is that to see the overwhelming amount of people that watches things in dub, but then accompany this with what we have seen in the last few years with just what's been happening to the anime culture itself and manga culture, there is definitely a correlation. And this correlation is there has been a massive influx of new watchers into the anime and manga community that it has hit into the mainstream. It is never going back to that niche hobby that it once was. And let's kind of, clear the air. Let's explain that. In the 80s, 90s, 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, and even the late 2010s, okay? Right before Demon Slayer really kicked off, anime was still considered a niche hobby. It was a niche form of entertainment. There was a big community, but nowhere near what we have today. Like, it was nowhere near what it is right now. And basically, the vast majority of people that viewed anime looked at anime as children's shows. They looked at it as cartoons. They looked at it as something meant for kids. They didn't view anime as something meant for adults. Now, obviously, I know how stupid that sounds, but that was what a lot of people viewed anime as for a very, very long time. Then you fast forward to the end of the 2010s, 2019, 2020, etc., COVID era, and you have a bunch of new people diving into the anime for the first time, because obviously there was a lot of free time with COVID. People were able to sit down and just start binging things. So they sat down, they watched Demon Slayer, they sat down, they watched AJK, they sat down, they watched, Chainsaw Man. You get the point. And this led into a lot of influx of new people that have never really experienced anime culture, or never would have experienced anime culture if not for them not having anything else to do. Because they were not able to do anything and they could only stay home for a very long time around the world, a lot of people were like that, they sat and watched anime. So people that would have never have given a second glance or even a look at anime sat down and watched anime, which has evolved to where now anime has become very mainstream. Now, I want to make sure this is very clear. There is good and bad about anime becoming mainstream. Some of the good aspects of this is that certain projects that are really deserving of getting funding get funded, and they get some fantastic art and animation. For instance, regardless of personal issues behind the scenes or what's under the hood with production issues or overworking of animators, etc., there has been more consistent, or at least higher quality anime in the last 5 years than I think we've ever seen. However, in the last 5 years, we have probably seen some of the worst animation and art and production health of any anime in the history of anime, honestly, in the last 5 years. So there is some of the best highs we've ever seen and some of the lowest lows we've ever seen, honestly, in terms of just how anime is made or how anime is presented. But what I will say is that despite the good, there is a lot of bad that has accompanied this. And I've went on record and I've talked about this already in multiple videos, but I'm going to reiterate them right here. For one, the big issue about anime becoming mainstream, and it's the big elephant in the room, is that big companies that do not care about the culture of anime and manga are going to look at it and see it as a money sign. We've already seen this. It's already happening. I mean, Netflix is a good example of this. I mean, let's just look at this. Solo Leveling getting a live action, One Piece getting a live action, Bleach getting a live action, Death Note getting a live action. You get the point, okay? When you see these very popular franchises getting live actions, the reason why it's being done is because these companies, let's say like Netflix, sees anime as profitable, and so they will put these series or the culture on like a skin suit, wear it, not understanding actually why people like anime or manga or these series in general, and they'll wear it like a skin suit, slap the name of the series on it, and think that it's going to sell. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and with how many of these live actions keep coming out, if it's not a money laundering scheme of some kind by Netflix or other companies, then legitimately there is a vast amount of people that legitimately are enjoying these live action adaptations, either through hate watching or not. And once again, looking at the statistics of how a lot of people watch anime and they even watch them in dub, I'm willing to bet a lot of these people are very silent watchers as well, probably love the live actions. And what this basically means is that there is a vast disconnect between the OG anime and manga community and the new community that is forming. And these companies are using these products and these different things to just get as much money as possible and suck the life out of the culture of anime and manga. And we gotta look at the current state of Hollywood. Hollywood is in a disastrous state. Anyone that watches movies and pays attention to it knows how much of a disaster it is currently. They are fresh out of ideas, having to copy a lot of things, regurgitate things. It's terrible. And when you take a hard look at anime, it's fresh. It is. To a global audience, anime is fresh. So what these big companies like in Hollywood see, they see anime's fresh, it's hip with the kids, new generation, and it's booming. So obviously they want to pick up all these different titles that are very big and get their own slice of the pie, turn them into a live action, which defeats the whole purpose of anime. Now, some things can be good in live action, but I feel like it misses the point. The reason why anime became popular and these series became popular is because it's anime. It's because it's manga. Live action kind of misses the point. And I think that in general, we are seeing an increase of these different companies just diving into the culture, not trying to understand it, and trying to change it, mold it into the new Hollywood. That's what it looks like to me. And I feel like a lot of people are seeing this. It's a continuous thing. And when I take a hard look at the situation, it makes me sad. Because, as I already said, we are the minority. We are the minority now. It's very obvious. The old anime community that was pre-COVID, we are small. We are like a dot in a giant circle now at this point. And it explains why there's so many issues that keep arising, why there's so many people that are hell-bent on buzzwording you or calling you different things if you watch a certain series. Let's say Mushoku Tensei, for instance. It's because there are people that never cared about anime. They just watched it to dive into it because it became popular. And they don't care actually about its history or anything behind it or why it is like it is, Japanese culture in general. They don't care. And it's sad to see anime in this state. It is really sad to see anime evolving and becoming like the next Hollywood and the next gaming community. That is what is becoming. And it really saddens me to see. I'm going to leave it at that, though. I know this isn't a good news to hear, but I wanted to talk about this because this was some crazy stuff I saw, especially these back-to-back announcements, and then this that came out as well. It was just wild. I felt like it needed to be shared. But you all have a blessed day or night wherever you live. I love you guys. Chibi out.